welcome back to Bates Report. For the latest Katie Bates updates and exclusive content, subscribe now and hit the like button. Let's dive into today's video. The cameras may have stopped rolling for TLC-style family reality television years ago, but for millions of loyal viewers who followed the lives of the Bates family, the emotional connection never truly disappeared. And now, one troubling update involving Alyssa Bates Webster is sending shockwaves through the fan community online. What first appeared to be a routine family update has suddenly turned into a growing conversation filled with concern, speculation, and emotional reactions from longtime supporters of the Bates family brand. Tonight, we're taking a deep investigative look into what's really happening behind the scenes, why fans believe Alyssa may be facing one of the most difficult periods of her public life, and why social media has completely exploded with questions about her future, her health, her family responsibilities, and the growing pressure surrounding life after reality television fame. Because for years, viewers watched Alyssa grow up in front of America. They saw her transformation from one of the older daughters in the ultra-conservative Bates household into a wife, mother, influencer, and public personality navigating marriage and parenting in the digital age. But according to recent online discussions, emotional posts, fan observations, and growing speculation across multiple platforms, many supporters are now asking the same question: is Alyssa Bates Webster quietly struggling behind the scenes? And perhaps even more importantly, how serious is this situation really? What makes this story especially emotional is the fact that Alyssa has always been viewed by fans as one of the calmer, more composed members of the Bates family. Throughout the run of bringing up Bates, she was often portrayed as organized, soft-spoken, deeply family-oriented, and committed to creating stability within her home. While other family members occasionally found themselves surrounded by controversy, Alyssa typically maintained a lower-profile public image. That's precisely why this latest wave of concern is hitting fans so hard. Over the last several months, viewers and followers have increasingly noticed subtle but important changes in Alyssa's online presence. According to fans across YouTube comment sections, Instagram discussions, Reddit threads, and entertainment blogs, many people believe there are visible signs of exhaustion, emotional stress, and growing pressure surrounding her day-to-day life as a mother of multiple young children while also managing a public-facing lifestyle online. Now, to be absolutely clear, there has been no confirmed scandal, criminal issue, or verified legal controversy involving Alyssa Bates Webster. That distinction matters. In today's social media environment, speculation can spread incredibly fast, and it's important to separate verified facts from internet assumptions. However, what is undeniably true is that concern surrounding Alyssa's emotional well-being and personal challenges has intensified dramatically among fans who closely follow the Bates family universe. And the reason this matters so deeply to viewers goes far beyond celebrity gossip. For many Americans, especially mothers and young families, Alyssa represents something familiar. She represents the pressure of trying to appear strong while privately feeling overwhelmed. She represents the challenge of balancing parenting, marriage, finances, social expectations, online criticism, and emotional exhaustion all at once. In many ways, the emotional response online says as much about modern American family life as it does about Alyssa herself. To understand why this latest update has become such a major topic online, we first need to go back and understand the world Alyssa Bates Webster came from. The Bates family rose to national recognition through their reality television exposure, eventually becoming one of America's most recognized conservative Christian megafamilies. Led by parents Gil and Kelly Jo Bates, the family built a large following through their emphasis on faith, traditional values, homeschooling, and close family relationships. Over time, viewers became deeply invested in the personal lives of the Bates children, watching courtships, weddings, pregnancies, births, and major life transitions unfold on camera. Among the many siblings, Alyssa often stood out for her independent personality and desire for structure. Fans frequently described her as someone who seemed eager to establish her own identity outside the chaos of a very large household. After marrying John Webster, Alyssa relocated to Florida and began building a new chapter centered around marriage and motherhood. At first, fans celebrated what appeared to be a picture-perfect transition. The couple shared smiling family photos, updates about their growing children, home life content, and moments that projected warmth, organization, and family unity. Like many reality television personalities after leaving traditional TV, Alyssa and other Bates family members increasingly shifted toward influencer culture, monetizing content through social media, YouTube, sponsorships, and audience engagement. But influencer life comes with pressures many viewers never fully see. The demand to constantly appear happy, grateful, productive, energetic, and emotionally stable can become overwhelming, especially for mothers raising multiple children under public scrutiny. Every photo becomes analyzed. Every facial expression becomes debated. Every absence from social media sparks questions. And according to many longtime followers, that pressure may now be taking a visible toll. Over the past year, fans began noticing moments where Alyssa appeared unusually tired or emotionally drained in videos and photos. Some pointed to changes in her posting schedule. Others discussed comments she made about parenting stress, exhaustion, and the nonstop responsibilities that come with raising young children. Several viewers even noted that she occasionally appeared emotionally distant or physically fatigued during family content uploads. Again, none of this confirms a crisis. But in the world of influencer culture, audiences often develop intense emotional attachments to personalities they've watched for years. And once followers sense vulnerability, discussions spread rapidly. The conversation intensified further when fans began revisiting Alyssa's previously documented health concerns. Longtime followers may remember that Alyssa has openly discussed certain medical issues in the past, including heart-related concerns that generated significant public attention years ago. At the time, many fans rallied around her with support and prayers, particularly because health struggles within a busy family environment can create enormous emotional strain. Now, with renewed discussions about her energy levels and emotional state, some supporters fear old health concerns could potentially be contributing to current stress. However, it's critical to emphasize that there is no verified evidence of any major new medical emergency at this time. Still, online speculation has not slowed down. In fact, social media conversations surrounding Alyssa have become increasingly emotional in recent weeks. Some fans insist that viewers should stop overanalyzing her appearance and respect her privacy. Others argue that her public platform naturally invites concern from supporters who genuinely care about her well-being. Meanwhile, critics of influencer culture say this situation highlights a much larger societal issue: the unrealistic expectations placed on women online. That debate has become one of the biggest parts of this entire story. Because behind all the headlines, emotional thumbnails, and dramatic YouTube titles lies a very real conversation about burnout, motherhood, mental pressure, and the emotional cost of living life publicly in the digital era. And that conversation resonates far beyond the Bates family fandom. Across America, millions of parents, especially mothers, report feeling overwhelmed by impossible standards. Social media often promotes images of perfection: clean homes, smiling children, organized schedules, happy marriages, and endless positivity. But behind many of those images are people privately dealing with stress, fatigue, anxiety, financial concerns, emotional exhaustion, and self-doubt. That's why so many viewers say they relate emotionally to Alyssa's recent situation. Some online commenters have written that they see themselves in her struggle. Others say they admire her honesty whenever she discusses difficult parenting moments. Many supporters have encouraged compassion rather than criticism, arguing that public figures should not be expected to maintain constant perfection simply because they share parts of their lives online. At the same time, critics argue that influencer culture itself creates unhealthy dynamics. Some observers believe family influencers face enormous pressure to continuously produce emotionally engaging content, even during difficult personal moments. Others question whether reality TV families truly ever escape public scrutiny after years of exposing intimate family details to national audiences. And that raises an even deeper question. What happens when someone who built a career around sharing family life suddenly needs privacy? For Alyssa Bates Webster, that tension may be becoming increasingly difficult to manage. Several entertainment commentators have noted that the Bates family exists within a unique media ecosystem where loyal viewers feel personally connected to the family members. Unlike traditional Hollywood celebrities, reality television personalities often cultivate audiences based on perceived authenticity and emotional closeness. Fans feel like they know them. That emotional bond creates loyalty, but it can also create pressure. When viewers sense something is wrong, they immediately begin searching for answers. And in today's algorithm-driven social media environment, concern spreads rapidly. YouTube creators produce speculation videos. Reddit threads grow larger. TikTok clips amplify emotional moments. Suddenly, a private family challenge can become a national conversation almost overnight. That appears to be exactly what is happening now. Some social media users believe Alyssa may simply be stepping back temporarily to focus on family and mental well-being. Others fear deeper emotional struggles related to stress and burnout. A smaller group of critics argues that fans are exaggerating ordinary parenting fatigue into unnecessary drama. But regardless of where people stand, one thing is undeniable: Americans are emotionally invested in this story. Part of that investment comes from the fact that many viewers grew up watching the Bates family during a period when reality television heavily emphasized large family programming. Shows featuring traditional family values, homeschooling, faith-centered lifestyles, and conservative parenting became major television phenomena throughout the 2000s and 2010s. The Bates family, alongside other famous reality TV families, became symbols of a specific cultural moment in American entertainment. Supporters viewed them as wholesome alternatives to more chaotic reality television formats. Critics viewed them as representatives of rigid traditional ideologies. Either way, they became nationally recognizable figures. And now, years later, audiences continue following their lives online with intense interest. That continued relevance explains why even subtle updates involving Alyssa can generate enormous online attention. Fans aren't simply reacting to an influencer post. They're reacting to someone they've emotionally followed through adolescence, marriage, motherhood, and adulthood. That kind of parasocial connection is powerful. According to media analysts, audiences often feel emotionally protective toward personalities they've watched for years. When those personalities appear vulnerable, viewers experience genuine concern, even if they've never met them personally. And in Alyssa's case, the emotional response has become particularly intense because many fans believe she has spent years trying to maintain strength under constant pressure. Some online discussions have also focused on the broader expectations placed on women within highly traditional family structures. Critics argue that women raised in ultra-conservative environments may face unique pressures related to motherhood, domestic responsibilities, and public expectations surrounding femininity and family life. Supporters of the Bates family strongly reject many of those criticisms, insisting that Alyssa appears deeply devoted to her family and proud of her lifestyle choices. However, the larger cultural debate continues growing online. And this is where the story becomes even more complicated. Because while some viewers frame Alyssa's situation as a cautionary tale about burnout and influencer pressure, others see it as proof that audiences sometimes become far too invasive toward public figures. There's a growing conversation about whether viewers should stop speculating entirely and simply allow Alyssa privacy. Many supporters say excessive online analysis can actually worsen emotional stress for influencers and reality TV personalities. At the same time, others counter that public concern often comes from genuine empathy rather than cruelty. That emotional divide is now fueling thousands of conversations across social platforms. Meanwhile, entertainment media outlets continue covering every development connected to the Bates family brand. Although bringing up Bates ended years ago, the family remains highly relevant within reality television fandom culture. Every pregnancy announcement, relationship update, controversy, or emotional family moment still attracts substantial engagement online. That continued visibility creates both opportunity and pressure. Financially, influencer careers can be extremely unstable. Revenue often depends on audience engagement, sponsorship deals, video views, and constant public interaction. Taking breaks from content creation can sometimes impact income and algorithm performance. That reality places additional pressure on influencers already balancing family responsibilities and emotional fatigue. Experts who study social media culture frequently warn that influencer burnout is becoming increasingly common. Many creators report feeling trapped between maintaining audience expectations and protecting their mental health. The pressure to remain constantly visible online can eventually become emotionally exhausting. Some viewers now believe Alyssa may be confronting exactly that challenge. Again, there is no verified evidence of any major scandal or catastrophic crisis. But the emotional concern itself has become the story. And perhaps that says something important about the current state of American culture. People are exhausted. Families are overwhelmed. Parents are under pressure. Social media intensifies comparison and emotional scrutiny. Many viewers recognize those realities in Alyssa's situation, whether or not they personally agree with the Bates family's beliefs or lifestyle. That relatability may explain why this story continues spreading far beyond the family's traditional audience. Now let's talk about the media reaction. YouTube commentary channels have been especially aggressive in covering this situation, with dramatic thumbnails and emotionally charged headlines fueling curiosity. Some creators claim Alyssa is facing a major personal crisis. Others frame the story around burnout, stress, or emotional struggle. Many videos rely heavily on speculation rather than verified reporting. This has sparked criticism from viewers who believe some content creators are exploiting concern for clicks and engagement. That criticism reflects a much larger issue within digital media today, the growing conflict between responsible reporting and viral sensationalism. Professional journalists emphasize verification, sourcing, and factual accuracy. Viral internet culture often rewards emotion, outrage, and speculation instead. The result is an environment where emotionally charged narratives can spread much faster than confirmed information. For viewers trying to understand Alyssa's situation, separating fact from exaggeration has become increasingly difficult. Verified facts remain limited. Alyssa continues sharing aspects of family life online. There has been no official announcement of a legal issue, separation, scandal, or confirmed emergency. Most of the concern comes from fan observations, emotional interpretations, and broader discussions about stress and well-being. Yet emotionally, the reaction online feels enormous. And perhaps that's because viewers are projecting their own experiences onto the story. Many mothers online have commented about feeling emotionally drained themselves. Others discuss the impossible expectations surrounding parenting in modern America. Some talk about the pressure to appear put together while privately struggling. In that sense, Alyssa has unintentionally become part of a much bigger national conversation. One involving motherhood, burnout, public image, mental exhaustion, faith, family pressure, and the emotional cost of constant visibility. As this story continues evolving, many supporters are now urging compassion above all else. They argue that regardless of fame, public figures remain human beings navigating real emotional lives behind curated social media posts. They point out that internet speculation can quickly become harmful, especially when audiences begin assuming details that have never been confirmed. Others believe Alyssa herself may eventually choose to address the growing concern directly. If she does, many fans say they hope the conversation shifts toward support rather than sensationalism. For now, however, uncertainty continues fueling public curiosity. And uncertainty is powerful. It keeps audiences watching. It keeps discussions growing. It keeps speculation alive. But behind every viral headline is still a real family living real lives away from the cameras. That's something many viewers are trying not to forget tonight. As Americans continue reacting to this emotional update involving Alyssa Bates Webster, one thing has become very clear: people aren't just following a reality TV personality anymore. They're engaging with a larger reflection of modern pressures facing families across the country. Whether this situation ultimately turns out to be temporary stress, influencer burnout, health-related exhaustion, or simply exaggerated internet speculation, the emotional reaction surrounding Alyssa has already exposed something deeper about today's culture. People crave authenticity. People recognize exhaustion. People understand pressure. And people respond emotionally when someone they've followed for years appears vulnerable. That's why this story matters. Not because of scandal. Not because of outrage. But because millions of viewers see humanity in it. And in an internet culture increasingly dominated by controversy, anger, and division, that emotional empathy may actually be the most powerful part of this entire story. As always, we'll continue monitoring verified updates surrounding the Bates family and provide factual reporting as more information becomes available. Until then, viewers across America continue hoping that Alyssa Bates Webster and her family are finding strength, balance, and peace during what many believe may be an emotionally difficult season behind the scenes. And now we want to hear from you. Do you think social media places too much pressure on reality TV families and influencers? Have audiences become overly invested in public figures' private lives? Or do you believe fan concern comes from genuine care and emotional connection? Share your thoughts below, join the conversation respectfully, and if you appreciate balanced, in-depth reporting that goes beyond the headlines, don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and stay tuned for more major updates and investigative coverage right here on the channel.